Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at this 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. The Corolla Cross here is a new subcompact SUV from Toyota, so let's take a minute to talk about the subcompact SUV segment. I've always viewed the subcompact SUV segment as being divided into two different sub-segments. You've got small subcompact SUVs and then really small subcompact SUVs. Think of, say, the Jeep Renegade, which is super small, and then the Jeep Compass, which is small but bigger than the Renegade. You've got the Hyundai Venue and the Hyundai Kona. And then here with Toyota now, you've got the CHR, really small. It was actually originally supposed to be a Scion. And then the Corolla Cross here, which is bigger and a generally more substantial vehicle than the CHR. And that's generally the dynamic between these two sub-segments within the subcompact SUV segment. So the Corolla Cross here, it obviously shares its name with the Toyota Corolla. Something ironic about that is the Corolla is considered a compact sedan and hatchback. The Corolla Cross here is considered a subcompact SUV. Even though they are pretty similar in size, that speaks to the other phenomenon at play here, and that is that SUVs in particular over the years have gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. So while a compact SUV was a certain size 10 years ago, most all of them have gotten bigger, and then that has made room for this new crop of small but still on the larger side of subcompact SUVs like the Corolla Cross here. So that's created kind of a weird dynamic with the Corolla, which is considered a compact. Corolla Cross, subcompact SUV, but it's about the size of a compact SUV from 10 or 12 or maybe 15 years ago. Anyway, though, let's do a little tour of the Corolla Cross here and then take it for a drive. So styling here is pretty much what you get if you take a sedan and, say, make it into an SUV. So up front, the headlights are relatively long. You've got an upside down trapezoidal shaped grille, similar to what you'll find on other Toyota models, but the Corolla Cross certainly isn't as rugged looking as the RAV4, that's for sure, but you can see some shared elements in the design of the two vehicles. You've got to look pretty closely though. Kind of a long front overhang and a relatively short rear overhang. This one is fully loaded, so these are 18-inch wheels wrapped in Goodyear Assurance all-season tires. Moving down the side, no contrast roof here, although there is a chrome element that goes the length of the greenhouse and then terminates back here atop the D-pillar, and then it says Corolla Cross in it right there. Moving around back, here's your badging. So it says Corolla Cross, so it's a Corolla badge, and then Cross is in an entirely different font. So they are really trying to tie this to the rest of the Corolla lineup by treating the word Cross as kind of like a suffix or an end word. Anyway, Toyota badge, and then this is a fully loaded XLE model, and it does have all-wheel drive. A couple of other noteworthy bits. It says Corolla Cross on the bumper here, which is black plastic, and then there is actually a receiver hitch back here. It's just your basic 1¼ inch, so light duty, not meant for towing like boats, but more so meant for something like a bike rack. But it's nice to see something like this included from the factory. As for the inside of the cargo area, it's relatively spacious back here. It's about what you'll find in a Corolla hatchback. Something kind of interesting with the design, the floor is basically just this square right here, and then on the sides is storage space. So here's your JBL subwoofer, but down in here, I don't know whose that is, but you got some storage along the side there, and then a bigger storage compartment right here. Beyond that, there are one, two, and then four tie-down points, and then there are provisions for a cargo cover, which is what you would expect. Something I'm not seeing is a 12-volt outlet back here. You find those in a lot of vehicles. Not sure how useful they are in a practical sense, but yeah, would you miss a 12-volt outlet in the back of the Corolla Cross? I don't think I would. One other thing, you can see the spare tire pretty much at all times. So you just lift up this carpet right here, and then there's this panel, And then there's your spare. So space saver spare, not full size, but would get you out of a jam. Here's the key. Pretty basic Toyota key. So you've got lock, unlock, press and hold for the power tailgate, and then press and hold for panic. Okay, let's take a look at this window sticker. So you can see this is a 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross XLE all-wheel drive. As equipped, it comes in at $33,550 when you factor in a $1,215 destination fee. That $33,500 figure is a little bit higher than what I would have guessed for what is still a pretty small vehicle. But either way, this one is fully loaded, although it's not a hybrid. A hybrid's coming for 2023. This is just a basic 2-liter gas 4-cylinder. EPA rates the Corolla Cross, keep in mind, XLE, all-wheel drive. EPA rating is 29 city, 32 highway, and 30 combined. I've seen a little bit over 30 and, well, about 150 to 200 miles driven in this thing over the past week. So the interior here is pretty familiar if you've been in any of Toyota's small cars from the past few years. Very similar to the Corolla sedan and hatchback. So you've got some piano black trim here around the transmission lever and then around the infotainment system. Speaking of the infotainment system, it, again, pretty familiar if you've been in any modern Toyotas. It's okay. Toyota does have a new infotainment system on the way. This one, it's tolerable. Digital gauge cluster because, again, fully loaded XLE model. Plenty of information there. Tachometer on the left, fuel gauge and temperature gauge on the right. Your speedometer is a digital speedometer right there at the top. As for the steering wheel, you've got active safety and cruise control features over here on the right, and then some audio and menu navigation bits there as well. Materials feel pretty good. So this is a squishy material on the door panel. Moving down, this is soft, this is hard plastic. The switchgear all feels pretty good though, and all 4 windows are in fact one touch up and down. Not much else to see here in the front seat. You do have a sunroof. Nice to see. The vehicle is $33,500 though. Overhead here, you've got Toyota's little SOS button here with a protective cover so that you don't accidentally push it. One thing I absolutely hate are these stupid sun visors. This is not the right design for sun visor extenders. That's what I'm talking about right there. That is utterly useless. The correct sun visor design would see it extend on its pivot point here, so you'd pull it and this whole thing would slide down and provide adequate coverage in the event that the sun is shining in right through here. This stupid thing does not provide adequate coverage, so yeah, they kind of dropped the ball there. I'm not sure why this design hasn't been eliminated from the industry, but oh well. Let's check out the back seat. Okay, so it's relatively cramped back here. I'm about 5'11". That's where I have the seat when I'm driving, and my knees are touching the driver's seat back here. So not super spacious, but I could tolerate it. You've got a pocket on the back of the passenger seat, nothing on the back of the driver's seat. That's where they save a little money these days. The door panels are hard plastic back here, so this is a common thing. Front door panels are pretty nice. Back door panels, again, they save some money. There's even a fake stitching line in there. Ugh. Cup holder here on the door. Again, fully one-touch up and down operation for the windows. That is great. On the back of the center console, there are 2 air vents, and then it looks like, yeah, there is one. What was that? Actually, 2 USB-A ports way down there. You'd miss them if you weren't looking for them. And then as for an armrest, here is the armrest with 2 cup holders. There is a light, pretty basic light, and then 2 grab handles on either side along with a hook. Okay, driving this 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. So there's nothing too crazy at play here. The Corolla Cross is powered by a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 169 horsepower and 151 pounds-feet of torque, and that is mated to a continuously variable automatic transmission. There's 50 miles per hour, so it's certainly not fast, nor is it meant to be. Fuel economy is pretty good though. I've been averaging 30.8 miles per gallon now over about 150 to 200 miles of driving. Took this up into the mountains this weekend, where it did not perform super well, but you don't really buy this vehicle for high elevation canyon carving. But to get 31 miles per gallon on what was about 150 mile round trip, that's pretty good. Beyond that, hey, this is an economy car. These days, most people default to buying SUVs, even though sedans are kind of at the bottom or the entry point of most automaker lineups. Most people flock to SUVs, and this is meant as a basic, approachable, affordable, relatively efficient entry-level SUV. Here's our first speed bump coming up here. We're gonna go about 29, 30, 30 miles per hour. It felt fine. Not the most substantial vehicle I'll be reviewing, but yeah, that one was at about 30 miles per hour. No real rattles or creaks or harsh feelings. Here's a bigger speed bump, and that was at 30 miles per hour as well, and the car felt pretty good. There's really nothing noteworthy about this vehicle. In the same way, there's hardly anything noteworthy about the mainstream Corolla sedan and Corolla hatchback. It seems like Toyota's kind of trying to create a family of small cars here by applying the Corolla name to this new subcompact SUV. Backup camera, as on any and all Toyota products, is not good. Probably among the worst in the industry. So colors are okay, but the picture is distorted and it's really fuzzy and grainy, and yeah, it seems like this camera's from, I don't know, 2003. And that's our look at this new Toyota Corolla Cross. Overall, this vehicle is completely inoffensive. I have no real praise or criticisms for it. It achieves what it has set out to do, and that is provide affordable, efficient, functional, dependable transportation for the masses. One thing I should add though is there is a hybrid version of the Toyota Corolla Cross coming out for 2023. That is, I think, going to be the one to get. Toyota hybrid products typically return significantly better fuel economy than their non-hybrid counterparts at not much of a price premium. So if you're interested in a vehicle like the Corolla Cross here, I would probably wait for the hybrid. You're gonna get the same basic product, just with significantly better fuel economy. But either way, that's the Corolla Cross. I don't have really anything bad or necessarily great to say about it. Maybe that's a good thing. Thanks for watching.